welcome to Salubrious Skin with Dr. Irene. Now today I want to talk about hydration, and I can't tell you how many times, well probably every single day, multiple times, I have the discussion centered around keeping hydrated. And one of the common responses I have is I'm drinking lots of water, I still don't see any difference in my skin, I'm still thirsty and dry mouth, perhaps I'm sweating, I don't know why, but I still feel really dry. And the reason is one very simple factor, and that is yin deficiency. The skin and the body don't simply hydrate with just water alone, although it's very important to drink water, and your usual 2 liters of water a day. You would include coffees or teas. If you're having a coffee, you would obviously need to be drinking more water because of the dehydration factor of coffee. If you're having herbal teas, that's great. I would always say that is much superior over your usual Earl Grey tea. And you could be also having soups that also have got a liquid content in it. But one clear indication that you are struggling with yin deficiency is when you drink water and you feel like it goes straight through you. So that basically happens when our tissues are dehydrated, and you cannot hydrate them with simple hydrogen and oxygen, which is what water is. So that's what I want to talk about today. If you're on that group of people where simply just drinking a little bit more water always makes you feel better, your skin looks more hydrated and you feel more hydrated as well, that's great. But today it's really centered around people that are struggling with keeping hydrated when they're drinking lots of water and it's still not making any difference. So before I move on, I want to talk about what yin deficiency is. So as you've probably heard, yin and yang are very common philosophies of Chinese medicine. Everything in the world is yin and yang. There's always an opposite to everything, night and day, up and down, front and back. So when we're talking about yin from the hydration perspective, yin represents body fluids. So when in the body we're talking about a yin deficiency, we're also talking about a deficiency in body fluids. And that is why simply drinking water is just not enough, because if our tissues are dehydrated, they can't take up that water. We need to improve our yin so that improves our body fluids and our ability to hydrate with water and other liquids and fluids. So I wanted to talk about what could cause yin deficiency. So yin deficiency can be caused from many and varied circumstances. Essentially, as we get older, our yin gets more depleted. For women who are menstruating every month, we're losing blood. Blood and yin are very closely related. So what happens over a period of time, we can get yin deficient. What can also happen is if we're not sleeping well, so poor sleep won't allow our body to rejuvenate energy and yin. So if we have an odd day of poor sleep, that's not an issue. When it's consistent and subsequent nights for weeks, months, and even sometimes years, that is a huge factor to create yin deficient symptoms. And one of the common symptoms that we hear about in Chinese medicine is hot flushes and sweats. So we all know that menopause is very much centered around those symptoms. And I had a young girl come in once where she was wanting to, basically she thought she was in menopause. She was in her 20s. She thought, oh my gosh, I've reached early menopause. My body's gone crazy and I need some help. But what I said to her, because her mother was very sick, she wasn't sleeping purely because of the stresses that centered around her mother's illness, she started to develop these symptoms. So you don't necessarily need to be going through menopause to have hot flushes and sweats, but that is a yin deficient symptom. As I said before, drinking water, it going straight through you, that's also another one. Dry mouth, thirst, basically accelerated aging. You know, when you see perhaps 2 people, let's just say 2 people in their 50s, right? One of them has had a pretty good life from the perspective of being pretty happy, pretty healthy, nothing hugely concerning, but obviously usual ups and downs, but nothing significant to create long-term stress. Then you have another person who's had many health concerns from a young age, really struggled with their health, taken lots of medications, been in and out of doctors' rooms trying to find a solution. These two people next to each other, one will look older than the other. And that's just because when we're sick, it consumes our yin. Our yin is like our ability to improve our health. So when our body's in imbalance and poor health has resulted, then basically what happens is our yin is compromised. And that is only over a long period of time. If it's a short period of time, then that's not an issue. But when it's a long period of time, that becomes an issue. Excessive alcohol use, smoking. Smoking is very dehydrating to the body. As all smokers will probably tell you, you can see it in their face. Their skin looks very dry and almost has lost its beautiful rosy color. It becomes gray-like, very deep wrinkles, because cigarettes are very dehydrating to the body. Very spicy hot foods, a lot of inflammatory foods, because as you can imagine, inflammatory foods are warm, hot, they dry up your body fluids over a period of time, also depending on your constitutional strength, but over a period of time, the body loses its body fluids and starts to get dry. So that's usually, in essence, the causes. So it can be dietary, illness, medications, lifestyle, so late nights, smoking, recreational drug use, all that sort of thing is also what can lead to a yin deficient body. So why is it important to rectify a yin deficient body? Now, our body needs to be in harmony in all aspects to be healthy. When we get yin deficiency in the initial stages, it might not be an issue, but over a long period of time, it can affect fertility, it can affect pretty much everything. All the organs of the body are basically affected. So it can lead to headaches. A lot of people say that they get migraines from being dehydrated. Heart health, obviously we need good amounts of blood and yin to manufacture more blood. And if our body gets deficient, we can't nourish any cell in the body. So when we want to rejuvenate yin, it's really, especially for the skin, it needs to be tackled both internally and topically. So first, internally, the most efficient way is obviously trying to get some herbal medicine. That will be the best way and quickest way. If you don't have access to that, things like goji berries are fantastic. They nourish blood and essence. You can put them in a hot cup of water and let them brew for as long as possible. Probably leave them in there and drink your water. You can blend them up and put them in smoothies or on your cereal. And also definitely avoiding those things that I mentioned as far as spicy hot foods and greasy fatty foods and smoking, drinking, all that sort of thing will allow the yin to rejuvenate. So what other foods can actually help is, so nutrient rich foods in essence are good yin foods. Yang foods are more warm. So yang is more, if you think about it from the perspective of warm foods, so garlic, shallots, onions. When we slow cook our food, that's more of a yang. But with yin, it's barley, millet, string beans, asparagus, dark coloured beans and vegetables, your blueberries, seaweed, fish eggs. If you like duck and pork, they're more of a yin meat. And also keeping well hydrated. More importantly, avoiding late nights, recreational drugs. If you're on medications where you need to be on medications, but it's more important to then really hydrate the body so that you are compensating for that medication use. Avoid stimulants, so caffeine and spicy foods. That's really not ideal for yin health. Nice early to bed. I would always encourage people to get to bed before 10:30. literally what happens at 11 p.m. is you enter the gallbladder phase, which reignites your energy. You get a second wind, and suddenly you're cleaning the house, reading emails, doing things on this massive energy spurt. So you want to be asleep before that happens. And that's because it's a gallbladder time. 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. is a gallbladder time. We want people to be sleeping by 10:30. Now, if you're out on a weekend, that's different. It's one in a blue moon. So it's not really something that's an issue. I'm talking about 80 to 90% of the time when you do this, it's going to be beneficial to your overall health. Okay, so I want to also talk about blood foods, because I said yin and blood work hand in hand. When we get deficient yin, we can get deficient in blood, and vice versa. So foods that are high in nutrients to manufacture blood, things that you probably already know. So bone broth. I always encourage people to make their own bone broth. I know there are companies out there that sell a product of bone broth, and at the end of the day, you just don't know what preservatives are in there. Things aren't going to last on the shelf for months and months if there's nothing preserving the water content in that product. It's very easy. Just get yourself some bones and just boil it up, and then you got bone broth. It's super easy, and there's loads of recipes on the internet. So not difficult at all. Now, marinating your meat is actually good for your blood. Red meat is good for your blood. Now, red meat obviously is inflammatory, and we don't want to be eating too much of it, but once every couple of weeks is fine. You don't have to be having it every single day. Center your diet around the white meats and fish. If you're a vegetarian, then you'd be looking at legumes. But when it comes to meats in general, marinating them increases the blood in your body. Having stewed food, so stewing soups and casseroles and things like that. Long or slow cooking food is always great. Legumes, grains, green leafy vegetables, beetroots, and also having loads of soups. That's really great for your blood. Okay, so that's what you can do. Now, what else can you do? So we said sleeping well, changing your diet, also reducing stress in your life. That stress is a massive yin depleter. When we stress, we increase our inflammatory chemicals in our body. So essentially we are burning our resources, our body fluids. So reducing stress. If you feel you can't reduce stress, always look at the management of stress. If you feel stress is overwhelming, and changing the stress is stressful to you, then you look at the management of it. How do I counteract this effect of stress? I can't change my work. I can't change my school. I can't potentially change my home life. Then how do you manage stress? So that means, do you meditate? Do you go for walks? Listening to podcasts, meditation podcasts. If you feel you can't get yourself in a meditative state, then do a directed meditation. There are so many of them. A regular guest of the show, Shireen Blom, has her own meditation podcast, Peace in My Pocket, which is amazing. Her voice is so serene and really helps you get into that calm state of mind. So look out for those resources around you, and you will find some way to calm the nervous system down. Now, when you calm the nervous system down, not only are you reducing the impact it's having on your yin and your body fluids, you are also minimizing your reactivity to stress. So when we're in a heightened state of stress, we react much more heightened to stressful situations. They might be mildly stressful, and yet we get a very explosive effect because we're already in that heightened state of mind. So if we can get that nervous system down through meditation, yoga, walking, even having positive chats with your friends, having some feedback from close people, family or friends around you, where you can really unwind and discuss any concerns. You might have a coach that does this, or a counselor, whatever it is, whatever resources you have. If you don't have them, then get them, because stress will always be around us. It's just the life we live. We have pressure, we have deadlines, we have expectations, we have goals, whether they're personal or business or financial, or whatever it is, we all have these expectations that we want to include in our life. And to have goals is not a bad thing at all. It's fantastic. It breathes life into your life. It breathes air. And it's great to have that motivation and desire to succeed in any way you want. So with that in mind, challenges can come, and they can sometimes be stressful. So having said that, it's really important to balance it. So like everything, yin and yang, we have stress, sure, no problem. How are we going to balance that? How are we going to reduce that? So the other thing, as I said before, when we're talking about the skin, and if we're finding our skin is very dry and dehydrated, what it means essentially is it's cracked. When our hyperlipidic layer in our skin is less than 10% water, we're going to have very porous skin, which that means, obviously our skin's very porous anyway, it breathes, but it breaks up, and these little pieces of fragments occur, which allow anything we put on topically to enter straight into the bloodstream. And what that can mean is it can get quite reactive. So if that's the situation where you feel your skin is very reactive, it needs to be repaired. It needs to be rejuvenated. It needs to be hydrated. And the best form of skincare is skincare made specifically for sensitive skin. So as the owner of Salubre Cosmeceuticals, we have our Pure Delicacy range, which is specifically formulated for people with sensitive skin. Now, sometimes I have people come in and go, oh, I've got sensitive skin, but I'm really conscious of my aging skin or my mature skin or my sun-damaged skin. I really want to kind of work on both. I always encourage people to work on hydrating their skin first, repairing that skin barrier, and then proceeding to the Pearl Brilliance range, which is centered around aging, mature skin, and that sort of thing. So with our cleansing lotion, this might look obviously in reverse, but that says gentle cleansing lotion. Sorry about that, mirror image. And so essentially with our gentle cleansing lotion, there's no detergent. When anything foams, there's a level of detergent in it. There's no detergent in this, so it's a cream-based formulation. It has lots of oils. Oils are fantastic to clean the skin and also hydrate the skin. Now in our anti-aging range, we've got 100% oil cleanser. This creamy cleanser is really nice, and a lot of people do prefer it just because of the creamy aspect. So the oils are there to hydrate the skin, and the creamy aspect is there to help with exfoliating the superficial skin cells. So the oils that we have are camellia oil, macadamia oil. We have Kwangdong extract, which helps with cleaning the skin. And we also have other oils such as avocado oil, marula oil, and what's the other one? Jojoba as well. So it is really hydrating but cleansing at the same time. I always have my cleanser in the shower and just leave it in there while you have your shower, clean your face, and you can start your day. Now the spritzer is something that is non-alcohol based. A lot of toners do have alcohol, which at the end of the day, whether consumed orally or applied topically, has a drying effect on the skin. So we don't want any alcohol ingredients in any of our products. So this spritzer is really based on the hydrosols of essential oils. And the essential oils used in this one is Roman chamomile and neroli. We do have also green tea extract, aloe vera juice. What else do we have? We've got witch hazel as well, which is very beneficial for sensitive skin because people with sensitive skin can sometimes break out in blemishes. Now we do have our acne range, which is a flawless range, which is specifically formulated for acneic skin. But if you have a blemish here and there, this is a beautiful product. You just spritz it all over your face after you cleansing. Now you can leave it on, or you can grab yourself cotton wool and or a warm facial cloth and just double the cleansing process by wiping it off. Then you would put the hydrating serum on. Now, did I show you the green tea balancing spritzer is that one? So, sorry, again in reverse. My apologies for that. I haven't worked out a way where you could see that any other way. Now, with the hydrating treatment spritzer, we have Chinese herbs in there that nourish blood. We've got the oils that we've got in the other products, the camellia, the macadamia, the avocado, all those sort of oils that are very hydrating to the skin. But what makes this different is we've got Chinese herbs that nourish blood and yin in the skin. So Beishao, which is white peony, Angelica, Romania, they're Chinese herbs that nourish blood and yin in the body when consumed orally and also when applied topically. So that's why so many people, when I've been to expos of late and we've had this sample out and they've just put it on their hand, all they've done is put it on their hand, and we all know our hands are terrible. You know, mine are terrible too. Always in the sink, always washing. Even in clinic, I'm always washing my hands after each patient, before each patient, and my hands get dry. So I usually use my facial cream, to be honest, at the end of the day. Before I go to bed, I put my facial cream, my anti-aging cream, or my sensitive skin cream on my hands before I go to bed, so hopefully hydrate them, but it's very difficult during the day. So when they use it, they put it on their skin, they see this a massive amount of hydration that's occurred instantly. So the serum is pretty much a must if you are wanting to hydrate your skin topically. Now, we also have a pink clay mask, Botanical hydrating mask. Again, in reverse. I don't know how to make it. That'll be something on my list. So the Botanical hydrating mask, as I said, is centered around a pink clay. Now, pink clay is very gentle on the skin and very hydrating while exfoliating. Now, we do need to exfoliate sensitive skin because despite the delicate nature of sensitive skin, there is still a build-up of sebum on the skin surface. There's still the dead surface cells that happen, that is natural physiological process of skin healing itself. It sheds off the top layers of the skin. And if we don't exfoliate that, then we're not going to get the benefits of the other products entering deeper into the skin. It almost forms like this barrier that protects the superficial layers, but we want to get there. We want to get deeper into the skin cells to create some change. So also with makeup, going outside, there's pollutants and all sorts of stuff that our skin comes in contact with, and we want to create that exfoliation. It will brighten your skin, but it will also get the other products in the range deeper into the skin cells. So if you are exfoliating, you would use that after the spritzer and before the serum. Then you would proceed to the day cream if it's day, or the night cream if it's night. Now, I get this question a lot. Can I use the day at night? Can I use the night in the day? For this range, yes. Now, the difference with the night and the day has a couple of ingredients that have a natural SPF. The SPF factor is very low, it's about 4, but it has a natural SPF factor. Whereas the night cream, because we rejuvenate when we're sleeping and our body heals, that's the natural physiological process of sleep, then the skin is doing the same thing. So the night formulation is a lot thicker and more nourishing to the skin. That doesn't mean your day one's not going to nourish. So if you just want to purchase one product, you would purchase the day. Now, if you want to use the night because you think, oh, it's thicker, it's more luxurious, I'd rather get that benefit. At the end of the day, you can use it in the day. You don't have that natural SPF factor in there, but also it is a thicker consistency. If you like the thicker consistency because you feel like your skin needs it, a lot of people with dry skin tell me that it just sucks the cream straight into their skin, and they sometimes have to reapply after 10-15 minutes, and that's perfectly fine. If that's the case for you, then you can use the night cream during the day. Now, as far as the ingredients for these, very similarly to the other products in the range, whereby we have the Chinese herbs that are hydrating the skin, we've got the essential oils, we've also got the healing oils, the macadamia, camellia, we've also got the extracts, the green tea extract. So also pearl powder. Pearl powder is very, very healing to the skin. So head on over to salubre.com.au to see a full list. We don't put any nasties in our products. You will not see any colors, any pegs, any parabens, nothing. Now, there are preservatives. Anything that has water in it has a preservative in it. You cannot make a cream without putting water in it. So many people say, oh, these products are full of water. The only way to have a product without water is to have an oil. So all our oil-based products, so our Pearl Brilliance, Organic 8 oils, 100% oils, there's absolutely no preservative in that. Our Salubrious Skin Balm for our psoriasis patients has absolutely no preservative in it because it's 100% oil. When a product is 100% oil, you will need a preservative. If you have an extract that is a water-based product, you will need a preservative. If someone says we are selling extracts and there are no preservatives, then they're lying, because an extract is a water-based product. So at the end of the day, there are natural preservatives you can have that don't harm the skin, that are used and have been used for a long time. Now, the difference is with other companies, your bigger companies that are global, you will find that they use the harsher preservatives because they need a longer shelf life because of the mass production of product, and they also need something more durable. So then they add those extra nasties in it. Being a natural skincare company, we prefer to just do small batches and make sure our product is not tainted in any way. Plus, I'm using all this stuff and I don't want any nasties on my skin. So that's pretty much it for today as far as yin deficiency hydration. I really hope you've enjoyed it, because it's something I feel like I constantly clarify people on a daily basis in my clinic. So that means if I'm clarifying people's awareness about hydration and how they can hydrate their body through more resources than just water, then I think the majority of us need a little bit of a refresher as far as that's concerned. So drop me any questions you might have at info@salubre.com.au, and be sure to leave any comments or feedback. I'd love to hear more about your insight into this podcast episode, and anything else you may want to hear from us as well. That'd be great. So stay tuned for the next episode, which is all about the subconscious mind, and interview with Shireen Blom. I think you'll find it a fascinating show. So that's the next one after this. So we'll catch you on the next episode of Salubrious Skin with Dr. Irene. Bye for now.